There are 3 rounds to go in the 2022 Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship, and the first of a double-header weekend round takes place at the home of South Wales Motorsport here at the Pembrey circuit. One of the longest established venues on the championship calendar, racing at Pembrey is always fast, frenetic and ultra-close. A whole variety of cars of all shapes and sizes are here to do battle across the various classes, piloted by drivers of all ages from all across the UK. It's set to be a great weekend as the drivers fight for points at this double-header round ahead of the finale at Knockhill in Scotland in a few weeks' time. It's going to be a great run into the season. Darren Bleasdale leading the points overall in his Vauxhall VX220, but he has plenty of challengers, and we're going to ride on board with one of them in the super modified category, Gary Cook, in his Ford Fiesta for a lap of the circuit here on day one. Short sprint off the start line into a left and right chicane almost on the opening lap on the tarmac. Of course, Rallycross using a mixture of tarmac and loose surfaces, but it's on the tarmac circuit that they start off, then it's into a quick chicane onto some of the more loose surfaces of the old runways here at this former airfield. Then a tight right-hander takes them into the long, high-speed back straights. Then peel off to the right, no longer into the tight hairpin that used to be a feature up until a year or two ago. Then it's round the right-hander into the left on the loose, past the back of the ever-filled paddock here at Pembrey. Slightly tighter left, bringing the cars through over the loose section that gets rather bumpy as the day goes on. Then a tight right-hander back onto the tarmac and up towards the start-finish line. That is a lap of the Pembrey circuit. We'll begin our roundup of the finals, starting with the Cooper Tyres junior category. 3 heats held earlier on, one by Tyler McAlpine, Corey Padgett and Owen Robbins, and it is Owen Robbins in the blue number 927 car who leads the Cooper Tyres junior A final away. Mainly Suzuki Swifts out in this one. One bit of variety provided by newcomer Jimmy Jeekins at the wheel of his Nissan Micra. Of course, we've seen Alfie Jeekins, a title contender in that car in years gone by, but it is Owen Robbins who leads the way. Fellow heat winners Corey Padgett and Tyler McAlpine up behind him. Chasing them, Ryan Smith in number 266, not to be confused with the truck racer of the same name. 5th behind them is Holly Woolley, the Anglo-American racer. Jimmy Jeekins next, and at the back James Hawkes, the latest member of his extensive Rallycross family in the number 81. All 1300cc, these cars, piloted by our under-17 racers. A little bit sideways there for Corey Padgett. He's doubling up in another class this weekend, as we will see later on, but they're already losing ground to Owen Robbins. The West Countryman won heats number 3 today, looking to hold on to his junior title. Very close in the junior points heading into this round as well, looking to try and challenge for the overall title this year as well. He sits 3rd in the overall points, but it's Darren Bleasdale, the clear leader, ahead of Andy Hawkes, the BMW Mini category racer. 3 cars line astern for 2nd place at the moment, Corey Padgett, Tyler McAlpine and relative newcomer Ryan Smith in car number 266. They're clear in turn of Holly Woolley and Jimmy Jeekins in the Nissan Micra. I presume that's the same car that Alfie Jeekins used to race in the series a few years ago. Saw him challenging the Suzuki Swifts, the likes of the Constantine family in this category. They now moved on to pastures new. 5 laps, these finals here at the home of motorsport in South Wales. Down the back straight they go. Owen Robbins with a clear lead. There's Holly Woolley in the background in 5th place. Jimmy Jeekins in his first ever event has dropped away slightly in the purple Nissan Micra. James Hawkes still going at the back. One car that didn't start this race, the Citroen C2 of Harvey Hutchinson. Unfortunately, he suffered some problems in the heats earlier on. Didn't make it sadly as far as the final. Over the loose they come, past the paddock and up the inside. Tyler McAlpine having a look and wallop into the side of Corey Padgett. He muscles his way past up into 2nd, and Ryan Smith says, I'll have a bit of this as well. 3 Suzuki Swifts together, fighting it out for 2nd place. 2 laps to go. Corey Padgett trying to get back up the inside, and the 326. He's just about, I think, held off Ryan Smith there for 2nd place, for 3rd place rather, but Tyler McAlpine is through into 2nd position. Owen Robbins is away and gone. He's just got to survive a lap and a half out in front without any major mechanical problems, and he is going to win this. The A final for the Cooper Tyre Junior Championship here at Pembrey. This is day 1 of 2. 2nd day sees the course reversed. They tackle it in the opposite direction to give a new challenge. Owen Robbins has been on top well and truly so far this season, has had a couple of A-final wins. Corey Paget's had a round win here at Pembrey earlier this year as well. We saw Will Ovenden take a couple of wins, but he hasn't contested the full series this year, the Kent-based driver. Owen Robbins won last time out at the Blyton Park circuit in Lincolnshire. Tyler McAlpin up there in second place. He's yet to win an A-final, but it's been consistent second and third places throughout the season so far. Coming up towards the checkered flag very shortly, a huge lead for Owen Robbins in the blue Suzuki Swift. It's going to be Suzuki's all the way at the front of the field. Can Ryan Smith get into third place here ahead of Corey Paget? Tyler McAlpin will come over in second, but it's a win for Owen Robbins. There's the checkered flag. That extends his championship lead. McAlpin second, and Paget just holds on ahead of Ryan Smith for third place. So the pack comes home behind. Well done to Owen Robbins. Another A-final victory on the board. Surely looking to hang on to his junior championship for another season. Jimmy Jenkins comes home in the Nissan Micra next. The final finisher will be James Hawkes in the number 81, continuing his learning year in Rallycross. He makes it home. Result confirmed then, and unfortunately Tyler McAlpin, for that contact on Corey Paget, was penalised 1 place in the result. So it is Corey who inherits the runner-up place, but some 7 seconds down on race winner Owen Robbins, with Ryan Smith fourth ahead of Holly Woolley, Jimmy Jenkins and James Hawkes. Harvey Hutchinson a non-starter.
Well, Owen, it's good to see you back on the top step of the podium again. How was it for you?
It was great, to be honest. Everyone else was just battling the whole race, so I just kind of got away.
So whilst they're dusting it up between them, you're making good progress and getting away.
yeah, I was.
So, any issues for you out there?
No, not really. It was kind of close in the first corner, but after that it was basically fine.
You're doing very well. How is your championship at the moment?
I think it's pretty good, to be honest. I think I'm getting a lead now.
Well, I just want to congratulate you again, Owen. Well done, great racing, and keep it going.
Next out onto track, it's the All Tool UK Limited modified category. We've got a pair of Honda Civics and a Ford Focus out there for this one. The red Honda of Chris Smith won all 3 of the heats earlier on. His first appearance in the category, he and Alex Fletcher in their Civics make the stars ahead of James Avison in his Ford Focus, who was leading the championship coming into this weekend. But Alex Fletcher has certainly clawed back some points over the last couple of rounds. The Focus has been struggling a bit. One other car that was here this weekend, Alan Laidler in his Citroën Saxo, sadly suffered some problems in the heats and is a non-starter in the final. So it is Chris Smith looking for 4 wins out of 4 on his debut in the championship here this weekend. Leads into the back straights for the first time. Alex Fletcher in the Loughborough College Honda Civic in second place. Still, I believe, running to production spec, that car. The modified category, of course, created to bridge the gap between production and the super modified division. James Avison, the man from Essex, who led the points in the early part of the season, scrabbling for grip there in the Ford Focus, seeing his advantage whittled down by Alex Fletcher. Those two will fight to the wire for the championship this year by the look of things in their category. It's Chris Smith out in front. Sadly no Alan Laidler, as we say, for this race. No Steve Gaunt either, long-time racer and sponsor of Rallycross in his Renault Clio. We've not seen him out at this round. This is impressive from the Apollo Autos Honda Civics, lifting a wheel there as he comes out to the end of the back straight through the right-hander. Chris Smith out in front, increasing his lead over Alex Fletcher, the 2 Hondas. There is James Avison, the former Bangor racer, in third place. Used to race at the Arena Essex Oval just east of London. Over the loose they come back onto the tarmac. This fairly tight flick, much the tightest corner on the course. Now the hairpin part at the end of the back straight has been remodelled. Chris Smith going clear in this All Tool UK and AVO Suspension Limited modified category A final. Smith in the clear, pulling away all the time from Alex Fletcher in second place. He's being reeled in slightly by James Avison in the Focus. The man behind All Tool UK, the sponsor of this category in the Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. Of course, all the categories' points are added together to give an overall champion. That is looking likely to be Darren Bleasdale from the Super Modified division, which we'll see later on. It's It's going to be a win for Chris Smith. It's going to be 4 out of 4 for the newcomer, Loughborough College man Alex Fletcher. Car looked after by their motorsport engineering students up there in second place. It is going to be the number 84 of Chris Smith. Here he comes around the final couple of corners. Heads up towards the checkered flag for an A-final win on his debut. A perfect score for Chris Smith here on day 1 at Pembrey, round 6 of the championship. Well clear of Alex Fletcher, who will take second. James Avison will have to settle for third, and he'll lose ground in the championship to Alex Fletcher in second place. Smith, though, takes the win in his very smartly turned out Honda Civic. Smith taking the win by nearly 8 seconds over Alex Fletcher at flagfall. James Avison in third place, while Alan Laidler, the Citroen Saxo, are non-start.
Congratulations, Chris. It was a good win for you.
Yeah, no, it's been a good day. First time trying the Rallycross, so it's just one of the things that one of my friends, James, kept telling me to have a go at, and so we've converted one of my other cars to be able to do it. And it's been a really, really fun, enjoyable day. So, happy with that, really.
So, what form of racing have you been doing before?
I'm still actually currently racing in the 750 Motor Club Type R Trophy car. Which is a similar car too, that was the same model, just slightly different specs and such. So I'm racing in that full time, this was the first time we had to go in this. So
enjoying cutting the corners and going on the loose as well?
I wasn't too sure if I was going to like the dirt bit of it, but no, he was getting better and more comfortable with it throughout the day. So it's been a really good day. The main reason why we really did it was I lost my dad recently, and he always said to me, just go and have fun, son. Go and enjoy your racing. And I think this is, the circuit stuff is very serious. It's a lot of money involved in it, and come here and have a bit of fun, and it's really working. So really happy.
Well, delighted to hear that, Chris. That's great, and a lovely commemoration for your father too.
Definitely.
Well done for your first Rallycross podium.
Yeah.
And we'll maybe see you again tomorrow.
Hope so. I'll have a good go, that's for sure. So.
Thanks for talking to us. Cheers.
All right, thank you.
Next up on track here at Pembrey, it is 4x4 time. The two categories running combined. We've got the Clubman 4x4 class on the front row, sponsored by SJ Wheeler Vehicle Repairs. And behind are the Cooper Tyres Production 4x4. It's the Clubman points leader David Bell in the BMW Mini for all four countrymen, who leads them off ahead of Graham Reed in his Nissan Pulsar. And Graham Reed getting away slowly there in the Nissan. So it's Thomas Ramanauskas, the only entry this weekend in the production 4x4 category, who comes through into second. It's the all-four Mini who leads. David Bell, a Rallycross veteran who's raced BMW Minis for many years, out in front in the Clubman 4x4s. Graham Reed, I think, has got problems. He was beaten in all 3 heats by David Bell, and the Scotsman has dropped back in the Pulsar. Thomas Ramanauskas, the Lithuanian-born driver in the Mitsubishi, up there in second. Looks like he's going to be heading for the production 4x4 title this year. His two rivals, Paul Davis and Chris Baker, with their Subarus, not here this weekend. Haven't seen many appearances from the Clubman 4x4 category this year. They don't run at Blyton Park. So David Bell looking for his third win of the season. He was beaten by Michael Boak the first weekend of the season as Ramanauskas run wide there, coming into the back straights. David Bell, a lot of experience in rallycross, particularly with BMW Minis. His father Tony Bell was a rallycrosser as well. Used to run a Toyota Corolla WRC. Mitsubishi, of course, famous as a rally car as well, the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo, as was the Nissan Pulsar in the early 1990s. Nissan did have a works rally team. It was fairly short-lived. The likes of David Llewellyn, a certain young Finn up and coming to his career called Tommy Mackinnon, and also towards the end of his career, Stig Blomqvist drove the Nissan Pulsars in the World Rally Championship, among others. Graham Reed sadly struggling here with his. He's still going, but a long way back. It's David Bell looking for his maximum in the SJ Wheeler Vehicle Repairs Clubman 4x4 category. There is Graham Reed, still struggling on with the Pulsar. A rare car these days, great looking car. He wants to get as many laps in as he can after his long journey from Scotland. He's not going to catch David Bell though, and Thomas Ramanauskas in the slightly less powerful Mitsubishi doing extremely well here to keep up with the Clubman points leader, the Clubman race leader. Great to see Graham Reed out for the first time this season. saw Michael Boak and Martin Hawkes out at Pembrey earlier this year. So they're not here this weekend. Sideways there, David Bell nearly loses it. Good save there, coming over the loose, and Thomas Ramanauskas could catch him here and take the overall win. Of course, we are running 2 categories combined here with the low number of entries. Ramanauskas would have ended up running solo this weekend, otherwise sadly the Subaru Challenge not out this weekend for some reason. Ramanauskas trying his hardest. He wants to beat David Bell and get the overall win. We're into the final lap now. It's going to be a duel between the BMW Mini Countryman All 4 and Thomas Ramanauskas' Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 4. Down the back straight they go for the final time. The BMW Mini's got the pace advantage down the straights. A little bit of smoke there possibly from the Mitsubishi. He's understeering quite a lot as well, so it's going to be the BMW Mini. Ramanauskas just has to keep going to keep complete the top points haul in the category, of course. Around towards the final turn, it's going to be 4 out of 4 for both of these drivers in their categories. The SJ Wheeler Clubman 4x4 will go to David Bell, and the Cooper Tyres Production 4x4 to Thomas Ramanauskas as he extends his championship lead. Well, indeed, both of them extend their championship leads in their respective classes. Graham Reed will come in to complete the finishers. He's about half a lap behind, sadly, after a few problems with the Pulsar. Here he is, the GR Auto Care Nissan Pulsar GTIR. Great car to look at, but causing Graham a few problems there. He's going to make the finish, though. Fair play to him. So the win goes to David Bell, well clear of Graham Reed at the flag after Graham had a couple of problems, and Thomas Ramanauskas running alone to win the production 4x4 class.
I'm here with David Bell, who's just won his final for the 4x4 championship. David, how was the race for you?
It's been a good day today. The car's done really well all day. The circuit's nice out there today. It's been smooth sailing.
It seemed to have suited your car well.
Yeah, the Mini performs well around this circuit. I prefer the circuit in this direction, so tomorrow might be slightly different, but we'll see.
It was all part of the fun of the 2 arrangements for the circuit at the one venue.
Yeah, Pembrey's unique in that aspect, which makes for a good weekend's racing.
Well, congratulations for today, and maybe we'll see you again tomorrow for another win.
Hopefully so. Thanks very much.
Congratulations.
Cheers.
Next up on track today we have the Bone Street Autos BMW Mini category. 2 heat wins for Abby McGuinness. One of the leading ladies of the BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship have qualified her on pole. Harrison Barnes scoring his first ever win in the other heat. Good start by Max Langmaid in there in the number 15 car as well. It's McGuinness who leads the way into the first chicane. Championship leader Andy Hawkes up there in third in the black and green number 18 car. Then we've got the David Bell run car of Harvey Harmon, the white car, in fourth. Harrison Barnes in the green and red machine is in fifth, the car that Jerry Upchurch raced earlier this year. And Wesley Wickens at the back in the blue and orange was Gulf liveried at number 51 car. And a bit of a challenge there for Max Langmaid, but he gets it all wrong, goes onto the grass. He's all over the place there. Little over exuberance there from Max Langmaid, former rival of Abby McGuinness on the short ovals in their junior days. Now, can Abby take her first ever a final win? She's been champing at the bit to get her first final win this season. Andy Hawkes, the championship leader, still up there and challenging, or is he? No, he's pulling off. Andy Hawkes in trouble. Now, he's only been beaten in 1A final so far this year. That was by Nick Abbott earlier this season here at Pembrey. Nick Abbott not out this weekend, but it looks like Andy Hawkes, as he rejoined there at the back of the field. Wesley Wickens having a go at our earlier heat winner Harrison Barnes in the bright green and red machine, the Upchurch family car from earlier this season. Doesn't manage to get through down the back straight there, chasing Harvey Harmon in the 112. Not sure if Andy Hawkes has retired. We'll wait to see if he's got going again at the back, but he clearly had some sort of problem there at the end of lap 1. Abby McGuinness leads the way. Harmon now giving Wesley Wickens, I should say, giving chase to Jerry Upchurch at the back. McGuinness leads. Max Langmaid still there in second place, and there is Hawkes. He's pulled off at the far corner there, entering the back straight. So he tried to keep going, but is still having problems. 581 car, not Jerrick Upchurch, Harrison Barnes, of course, my apologies. It was Jerrick Upchurch who raced that car earlier this year. Wesley Wickens behind him. Max Langmaid is really pushing as hard as he can, so is Harvey Harman in that third position. It's the pairing of Barnes and Wickens fighting for fourth. Andy Hawkes is out of it. He's parked up at the far end of the circuit. It's the two former RCI Mini Stocks racers out in front. There's Hawkes trying to get going again. I don't know what the problem is, but he's a couple of laps down now at least. Through towards the infield loop once again, past the paddock. Quite a close fight developing for third. They're reeling Harvey Harman in here in the 112 car. Harrison Barnes, a heat winner earlier on. Getting pretty dusty out there on that infield section. Barnes gets a little sideways. Wesley Wickens having a look. Oh, and there's contact there, and off goes Barnes onto the infield. I don't think that was intentional there. I think Wickens just a bit quicker than Barnes. He wasn't expecting Barnes to be so slow off the corner. A 360 on the grass from Harrison Barnes. He gets going again at the back of the field. Now, can Wesley Wickens catch Harvey Harman? They're not going to catch Abby McGuinness. She's heading for, at long last, her first ever A final victory. She'll close the gap in the points on Andy Hawkes, who is out of this A final. He's got to get through the last couple of corners. The Norfolk Salvage sponsored car is heading for victory. Here she comes, one of the leading ladies of BTRDA Rallycross is going to take her first ever A final win. Congratulations to Abby McGuinness. A close fight there for third place between Harvey Harman and Wesley Wickens, but it's McGuinness who takes the win. Max Langmaid coming over in second, despite a couple of moments there, was really trying hard to catch our race leader. Harrison Barnes, after that spin, will complete the finishers, because sadly, as we saw, we lost Andy Hawkes, the championship leader. McGuinness taking the win by a margin of nearly 3 seconds at the flag over Max Langmaid. They were over 5 seconds clear of Harvey Harman in third, who just beat Wesley Wickens home. Harrison Barnes recovering to take fifth. Andy Hawkes having mechanical problems there and dropping out midway through. Well done, Abby McGuinness, her first ever A final victory.
I'm proud to be standing at Pembrey circuit with our latest winner in the BMW Mini category, Miss Abby McGuinness. Congratulations, Abby.
Thank you. It's about time, isn't it? Been so close for so long, and it all came together today.
So tell us about your win.
I don't even know. I got a fairly good start, which is surprising because pole here is quite slippy, so I was a little bit dubious to it. Got quite a good start, managed to get ahead of them all. I think Max tried to come around my outside on the top corner and got in all the slippery stuff, and then Andy got past him, and then Andy unfortunately retired with a mechanical problem. And yeah, then I looked in my mirror and Max was behind me, but I knew really, unless I'd made a major mistake, I was fairly safe, so I just kept it going till the end. And
so how good was it seeing the checkered flag?
I can't even explain to you. I screamed as I crossed the line and started crying immediately. Like, as soon as I drove past it, I was in tears. It's just so nice to see everything come together after all the trouble we had last year, how close we've been this year. Obviously, with all the help from Dad, we wouldn't be here, but it's just so nice to see everything come together. We all needed it.
Abby, congratulations. It has been a long time coming, but so well earned. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next up on track, we have the AS Performance Super Modified Division. 2 wins in the heats for Darren Bleasdale, the overall championship leader, unbeaten in A finals so far this year. He's on pole in the Vauxhall VX220. We're on board with Todd Crooks in his BMW Mini from the second row of the grid. Darren Scott and Stan Boville ahead of us. Boville makes a good start in the Escort, trying to get ahead of Darren Bleasdale, the championship leader, but once again the speed of the VX220 tells, and he's got the lead. Stan Boville in the rear-wheel drive Escort, the Northern Irishman in second place. Darren Scott in the Citroen C2 is in third. Former overall champion Gary Cook in the Ford Fiesta ST, the orange car, in fourth place. Crooks is fifth, and then in behind him is Phil Chicken, Rallycross veteran, in his Citroen C2. Side by side into the back straight, Todd Crooks on the outside in the BMW Mini. Stan Boville through into second place in the Escort, but it is once again a familiar sight at the front. Darren Bleasdale, whose brother Jason was unbeaten in A finals in the super modified class last year to take the overall title in a similar VX220, and Darren looking to remain unbeaten this year. Due to a quirk of the rules though, if he wins the overall title he won't be the super modified champion, because if you win overall you can't win your category as well, to give chance for a few more drivers to win awards at the end of the year. So it's looking likely it could be Darren Scott who will win the super modified class this year. If Darren Bleasdale wins here, he only needs to start the last couple of rounds to win the overall title. He will be out at Pembrey tomorrow in round 2 of the weekend, round 7 of the season. Now we run in the opposite direction. We're on board with Gary Cook in the Ford Fiesta ST, college lecturer at Loughborough College, just like Alex Fletcher, who we saw racing earlier on. Gary Cook is a former overall champion as well, won that a few years ago in an MGZR. Todd Crooks on his tail, on board with the BMW Mini, the Jaguar Land Rover chassis engineer, been racing BMW Minis in Rallycross for a number of years now. This one much more modified than the one-make BMW Mini class sponsored by Bone Street Autos that we saw out earlier on. Holding him off at the moment. Todd Crooks had a gigantic accident in his previous BMW Mini at Liddon Hill a few years ago. He suffered a spectacular barrel roll, lucky to only escape with a broken bone in his foot. Stan Beauville going well in the rear-wheel drive Escort, up there in second place, hanging the tail out there at the end of lap 3, holding off Darren Scott in that very nicely prepared Citroën C2, going to take the category title this year. Darren Bleasdale still out in front in the VX220. It doesn't look like a conventional rallycross car, but it is like lightning in a straight line, as we saw from brother Jason in his version last year. Hopefully we might see Jason back out at the final round of the year at Knockhill in Scotland in a few weeks' time. It'd be great to see the two Bleasdales battling for victory. Darren looking to continue his unbeaten run of A finals this year and keep his overall lead as Darren Scott up the inside, through the right-hander towards the end of the lap. Stan Beauville goes out on the grass and through he goes into second place. Gary Cook had a grandstand view of that from inside his Ford Fiesta in fourth place. He's now starting to close up on the Escort of Beauville for third. And you see Gary Cook, who's had a slightly troubled season with that Fiesta, get into the top 3. He's got Todd Crooks on his tail. Phil Chickens dropped back in the Citroën C2. One car that didn't start this final was Alan Crockett in his Vauxhall Corsa. It's a great shame because he would have been a contender for victory here, I'm sure. Crooks on the loose, they're going for the outside on Gary Cook. It doesn't work. We're coming up towards the checkered flag this time. It's going to be another win for Darren Bleasdale, but he hasn't run away with this one. Takes the flag. He's only around a second clear of Darren Scott, I would estimate, there in the Citroën C2. That's a good run by Darren. He had a heat win earlier on, admittedly when Darren Bleasdale sat out the third heat, having won the first 2. It's another win for Darren Bleasdale. 6 A final wins out of 6 this year, and he's surely heading for the overall title. Bleasdale the winner by just under a second ahead of Darren Scott, with Stan Beauville's Escort in third place, Gary Cook in fourth in the Fiesta, then Todd Crooks and Phil Chicken completing the 6 finishers. Alan Crockett's Corsa, sadly a non-starter in our AS Performance Super Modified A Final. 6 out of 6 for the year for Darren Bleasdale.
Well, Darren, that was a very convincing win. Many congratulations.
Yeah, it might have seemed convincing. It wasn't in the car. It was a bit tough. Stanley kept me on my toes there the first few laps. Once I get going, once the tyres were warmed up and stuff, I started pulling away and started enjoying it. It was good. I could see they were battling behind, so it kept me out of it.
Yeah, 'cause it seems to suit your car so well with the straight line speed, but also the handling for the loose section.
Yeah, it can get a bit, especially if it's wet as well. It can get a bit loose, too loose in the gravel sections, but. Yeah, that straight line speed helps, gets me out of trouble a few times. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank my team actually, because they've busted a lot this week. They've really worked hard and I've been busy and stuff, so they've been prepping the car, especially my brother Jason. He's the best. He preps and everything, and he's done a fantastic job in helping me out this week and my dad and stuff, so it's been good. Hopefully one more, do it again tomorrow.
Well, Darren, congratulations.
Cheers, thank you much, Steve.
Now it's the new for 2022 FIA Cross Car Rallycross category. And We've increased the entry to 4 for this weekend. A couple of guest drivers out there. One of them is former British Rallycross champion Dan Rook at the wheel of the number 40 car. He won 2 heats, and the other heat was won by Corey Paget. Yes, the junior Rallycross driver. We said earlier he was racing in another category this weekend. It's the number 40 of Dan Rook who leads them off. The 2 regulars from earlier in the season, 21 Paul Batson and number 23 Luke Holly. They've been left battling in the wake of the 2 guest drivers so far. It's Rook who leads, the 726 of Corey Paget in second place. Looks like they're going to battle for victory here in these little car cross, almost buggies you could call them. Great to see these little machines racing on something like a motocross course as well. I'm sure their suspension could take it. I'd like to see these racing on perhaps a shale stock car oval as well. They look enormous fun to drive, these machines. There's the 726 of Corey Paget making his senior racing debut here at Pembrey. Battle for third, headed up by Paul Batson at the moment, ahead of Luke Holly. Luke Holly's taken both of the A finals held for these cars so far this year at Liddon Hill in Kenton, at Blyton Park in Lincolnshire, but it's Dan Rook out in front, the former winner of the British Rallycross Supercar title. It was in a Citroën DS3 a few years ago. He's rallycrossed the Citroën AX GT very successfully as well in years gone by. Dan Rook now a leading rallycross commentator as well. Battle for third is the main highlight. Paul Batson versus Luke Holly, the 21 and the 23 running nose to tail. These two were fighting for victory when the class debuted at Liddon Hill earlier this year. Paul Batson hit some problems in that race and running wide there, Paul Batson, as I say that. Loses third place to Luke Holly. Still Dan Rook who leads the way, chased by young Corey Paget. Really has acquitted himself well on his debut in the FIA cross car category this weekend. Off the back straight onto the loose. Well out in front it is Dan Rook in the number 40. There's the 23 of Luke Holly in third place. They didn't contest the first 3 rounds of the year at Blyton and the first doubleheader of the year at Pembrey. The way things are panning out, it looks as though Luke Holly could be heading for the inaugural cross car title in the UK. Staying ahead of Paul Batson, who ran wide earlier on. There is Dan Rook, number 40, well clear. Who knows, maybe we'll be able to tempt him to join me in the commentary box someday. Been lifting that front wheel, spectacular to watch these little FIA cross cars. Some of the lightest cars competing in any motorsport in the UK. Lifting a wheel again as he comes round to start his final lap. Dan Rook is well ahead of Corey Paget in second place. Look at the air underneath those front wheels as he flings it through the corners. An absolute joy to watch. He is punishing those tyres. It matters not because he's on his last lap now. It's been a superb drive for Dan Rook on his debut in the FIA cross cars. Proof that he really can rallycross anything, this man. He is heading for victory in the A final here at round 6 at Pembrey. Comes up towards the checkered flag, almost making it look easy. Saving a bit on tyre wear, spending most of that race on 3 wheels. Easy victory for Dan Rook. Corey Paget, what a great debut, took a heat win earlier on. He takes second place in the A final. We'll wait to see who takes third. Looks like it's going to be Luke Holly, ahead of Paul Batson. Dominance from Dan Rook, though, the former supercar category British Rallycross champion, taking the win by around 9 seconds ahead of Corey Paget, with Luke Holly some 7 seconds further back in third. Paul Batson, a slight mistake midway through, dropping him back.
Here we are at Pembrey with the winner of the Y-Kart Championship race, Mr. Dan Rook. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's lovely to see you back out on the rallycross circuit again. It's been far too long.
Yeah, it's certainly been a while. Although I've enjoyed being behind the microphone, nothing beats blowing the cobwebs off.
And in such style. Now, obviously, last time we saw you racing on a regular basis, this is in a vehicle much bigger, the Citroën DS3. What's this like to race?
I mean, it's very hard to compare the two. They're certainly different beasts, but that doesn't mean to say that this isn't an animal on its own. You know, these are obviously a naturally aspirated motorbike engine vehicle, which you've got to be fully on top of to get the best out of. So being able to come into this car and try and get the best out of it is probably just as much of a challenge as in the supercar.
Well, surely any vehicle where there's more power than there is traction is always going to make it a handful.
Always a bit difficult, yeah, and forever chasing a setup with the car as well to be happy with it, but we got there in the end today.
Well, pleased to see it. I'm delighted to see you back out on track. And this, of course, is really preparation for your next step.
Yeah, so our next event we've got coming up, we're heading over to France for the FIA Motorsport Games, where I'll be driving this very car up against some of Europe's best to try and bring home the title for the UK for the cross-kart category.
Well, we wish you all the very best with that, and for today, many congratulations, and back out again tomorrow?
Yeah, back out tomorrow. Obviously a fresh day, fresh track, but hopefully we'll be picking up from where we just left off.
We'll look forward to seeing what happens. Dan, thank you very much, and congratulations.
Thank you.
The SG Haulage production category next up, and it is Charlie Maroney who leads into the first corner, but behind a tangle that's Andrew Smith in the Renault Clio, and he's been walloped by Mark Henry in the Alfa Romeo. We'll take a look again. It was Charlie Titcombe who hooked out Andrew Smith. Mark Henry nowhere to go, and out of the race goes the Alfa Romeo 147. Andrew Smith also out of the restart, the local man in the Renault Clio. It is Charlie Maroney in the yellow Saxo in pole position. There's a gap in the middle of the front row where Smith should have been. Both of them had heat wins earlier on, as did Charlie Titcombe, number 401 in the white Citroen Saxo. So the SG Haulage production category A final is restarted. It is the two Saxos who lead them away. These the smallest and often the liveliest cars we see in action at a BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross meeting. Charlie Maroney in a backup car this weekend after his other car was badly damaged in a rollover at Blighton in the last round. Titcombe in second place, and in third place there in the white and green Clio is a certain Ryan Stutchbury. We've seen him successful in the classic category in a Peugeot 205 GTI in the past, trying something new this weekend. He's got local man Kai Mannering, a newcomer this season, on his tail in the Peugeot 106, and there's a gap back to another Peugeot of Darrell Ambrose, the blue car there. It's Charlie Maroney who leads the way in the yellow Citroen Saxo. Next in the order behind Darrell Ambrose, we've got Sam Noy in 606 running off onto the grass there, and he loses out to Dan Cofield in the Peugeot 206. And 644 Carl Jarvis, he qualified for this race by winning the B final. Sam Noy came through for second place in that race. Cars didn't get through: James Ash in his Citroen C2, Harry Walshaw's Saxo, Mark Finch's Clio, and John Rook, the championship manager, in his Peugeot 106. Had quite a few problems with that car today, sadly. Must commend John Rook, the championship manager, and Jordine Crooks, the championship coordinator and meeting secretary here this weekend, for their hard work off track, making sure of the success of the Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. Field splitting into two here almost in this SG Haulage production A final. It is Charlie Maroney in the Saxo, despite not being his regular car, who leads the way. Charlie Titcombe in second place, then Ryan Stutchbury, Carl Jarvis having a look at Dan Cofield in the Peugeot 206 there. Just about the 206 holding him off. It is close at the top of the championship at the moment between Maroney, Titcombe and Jarvis. We've got a tangle further back. Ryan Stutchbury goes off. Collision there with Kai Mannering. Mannering with broken front suspension. He is going to be out of the race by the look of things. His steering's broken. Yes, the Welshman ploughs off, and he's collected there, Carl Jarvis. Oh dear. Real mess there towards the end of the lap. The initial collision between Kai Mannering and the Clio of Ryan Stutchbury. Kai Mannering's car stuck on the track there, covered by the yellow flags from the excellent volunteer marshals, of course. We must thank the Orange family, as they're known. We wouldn't be able to go racing without them. They'll have a bit of clearing up to do after this one. Kai Mannering's car with broken suspension. Lead gap now coming down between the two Saxos of Maroney and Charlie Titcombe, the former junior racer. They pass the stranded car of Kai Mannering, the yellow flags covering the scene. Ryan Stutchbury out of the race as a result of that as well. Carl Jarvis, however, is still going in the 644. So a typical race of attrition for the production category. We lost Andrew Smith and Mark Henry at the first starts. Now, can Charlie Titcombe catch Charlie Maroney around this final lap and snatch the win? Down the back straight they go. It's just between these two. They're well clear of Jarvis and Darrell Ambrose, who are together for third and fourth place. Is Charlie Titcombe going to be able to get through? There are yellow flags on the infield section. That means no overtaking there. If you overtake under yellow flags, you will get a penalty. Titcombe trying his hardest. I don't think he's going to get down the inside on the final corner. No, he's not. It's going to be another win for Charlie Maroney. It's going to be a final win, number 3 for the season. Maroney takes it just ahead of Charlie Titcombe. A close finish between the two Saxos. There's Carl Jarvis, and up the inside Dan Cofield could snatch 4th place. He does snatch 4th place right on the line from Darrell Ambrose and Sam Noy, the final finisher. I think Dan Cofield, Darrell Ambrose rather, had problems there on the final lap. That was quite a slow lap from the Peugeot 106 GTI. He nearly lost 5th place as well. So an entertaining race there for the SG Haulage production category. Charlie Maroney the winner by just a couple of tenths ahead of Charlie Titcombe, with Carl Jarvis 3rd, Dan Cofield snatching 4th on the line from Darrell Ambrose. Sam Noy the final finish, because we lost Brian Stuxbury and Kai Mannering, also Mark Henry and Andrew Smith on the first start.
Here I am with today's production class winner, Charlie Maroney. Congratulations, Charlie.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed.
I think the new car seems to have suited you all right.
Yeah, it's not a bad car. Harry lent it to me. He told me to look after it, so I'm just continuing what he used to do in it.
He's just sort of running it in for him.
Yeah, getting it ready for when he returns. You know what I mean? When he wants to come back. But yeah, no, it's good. Really good. Enjoyed it. Had a great day out.
Well, you seem to, and any day that you come back with some silverware, it's got to be a good day.
Oh, it's definitely worth the journey then, isn't it?
Well, it's been convincing performances all day. You've obviously settled into the new wheels, and well, congratulations. See you some more.
Thank you very much. Cheers. See you again soon. Hopefully tomorrow.
Next up, it is the Pre-95 Classic category, sponsored by Melius Limited. 3 different heat winners, being Mark Jones, John Cross and Lee Wood. Lee Wood in the Escort on pole position alongside John Cross. And that's a jump start. The red light comes on. It was Richard Maroney in the orange Escort Cosworth who has jumped the start on the outside of the front row. So he's been moved to the back of the grid for the restart as a penalty. Lee Wood on pole, John Cross alongside. We're on board with Davy Crockett in his Vauxhall Chevette HSE. Lee Wood on pole, the Mark II Escort, the championship leader. The Lancia Stratas of John Cross alongside, and there's local man Mark Jones in the MR2 on the inside. The Marks Motors car making its usual fast start, but he can't get through into the lead. It's between the Stratos and the Escort, arguably 2 of the most famous rally and rallycross cars of all time, duking it out for the lead, and it's John Cross who goes into the lead, the rallycross veteran in the number 99, the Stratos replica, ahead of Lee Wood in his beautiful Motorquip Escorts, very similar to the cars of the likes of John Welch and Mark Lloyd back in the 70s and 80s. Dave Crockett getting around the outside though in the Chevette, and he's gone through into 2nd place. Good first lap by Dave Crockett at the wheel of the Chevette. Jones in 4th place, and it's Vince Bristow's BMW. The Mark II Escort next to is driven by Alan Tapscott, famous for rallycrossing a Vauxhall Corsa in the super modified division for many years. Dave Crockett trying to get the Chevette sideways, the Northern Irishman there staying ahead of Lee Wood. Very close indeed in the classic category today, sponsored by Melius Limited. There's Vince Bristow, Mr. Sideways in his BMW. Further back we've got David Ewan. He won the B final in his Fiesta, the best we've seen his Fiesta Evo run this year. Been plagued by mechanical problems both with his race car and with his transporter sadly this year, David Ewan. The other car to qualify through from the B final was Jamie McBain in the green Peugeot 205. Completing the 10 qualifiers for this race, David Attiwell in the powder blue Vauxhall Nova there, chasing that very smart Escort of Alan Tapscott. Great to have Alan back out in the BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. There's David Ewan, the Cumbrian. Richard Maroney still at the back, having been penalised for jumping the start in his Escorts. Doesn't look like it's going to be a family double here. We've already seen Charlie win the production category. Mark Jones, who's not had the best of seasons with the Toyota MR2, back in 4th place, the former champion. Lee Wood in the STP Motorquip Escorts. looking the favourite for the Pre-95 Championship this year, challenging Dave Crockett's Vauxhall Chevette. Far more famous as a rally car in its heyday, of course, the likes of Pentia Ricola and Jimmy McRae among the drivers of the Chevettes in period. David Ewing runs out wide, the B final winner in the Fiesta Evo. Ford Fiesta with a Mitsubishi Evo engine in. It's a real mishmash of various vehicles, that car. Dave Crockett giving chase to the Stratos replica of Rallycross veteran John Cross. That little car so quick in a straight line, as is Lee Wood's Mark II Escort in there in third place. It could be the closest finish we've had so far today in this Melius Limited Classic A final. Just over a car's length in it for the lead. Going round to start their final lap this time is John Cross, going to hang on in the 99. Won the last round at Blighton. A few problems earlier in the season though, restricting his year. Lee Wood has had 3 A final wins rather out of 5. Richard Moroney has won 1, John Cross the other. Almost nose to tail between these three into the back straight for the final time. Cross, Crockett and Wood. And Jones, Vince Bristow's BMW. Then the Escort of Alan Tapscott. Coming up towards the last few turns now. Lee Wood's looking determined here. He wants another A final win to extend his championship lead. Is John Cross going to hang on in front for a second A final win of the season, or is Davy Crockett going to be able to get through for his first? We're on car with him as we come into the final couple of right-hands. He's trying to draw alongside. He's got the tighter line. He's going to pull up alongside the Stratos. There's the checkered flag ahead, and Crockett's done it. Brilliant from Dave Crockett. Snatches the win right on the line. That's an outstanding drive from the Northern Irishman in the Vauxhall Chevette HSE. John Cross can't believe it. That's one of the closest finishes I think I've ever seen in this championship. Superb from Dave Crockett in the Vauxhall Chevette. He wins by less than 0.2 of a second on the line over John Cross. Lee Wood in third place, then Mark Jones ahead of Vince Bristow. Alan Tapscott sixth ahead of David Attiwell and David Ewing. Richard Moroney finishing at the back, and Jamie McBain was a retirement. One of the best finishes we've seen this year in any race.
I'm pleased to be standing alongside a lovely white Vauxhall Chevette and its driver and indeed winner of our classic final just now, David Crockett. Congratulations.
Thank you very much indeed. That's a long time coming. But we're here, and that's the main thing. The wee car performed excellent. A few modifications over the summer there, and that made all the difference.
You've demonstrated how quick the car is in a straight line, as well as for a relatively short rear-wheel drive car, pretty handy on the twisty bits as well.
Aye, well, it modified the back axle a bit, so we're getting good traction out of the corners and but different throttle bodies in the engine, and it gave us another 16 horsepower, which made a massive difference. You know, and that's my story.
And you're keeping to it.
Yep, I know. It was really a really good day's racing, fabulous day's racing. And I thought, coming from the second row in the grid, that wasn't going to happen, but everybody else made mistakes.
Well, this is what part of the beauty and fascination of Rallycross.
Of course it is. Aye. It's an unknown quantity until the green light comes on. You can plan all you want for strategies of races and stuff, but the first corner tells the tale.
Yeah. Well, you certainly got off the line very well and brought it home safely. How did the checkered flag feel?
Oh, great! After a long spell without it. It's 30 years since I won my last championship, maybe since I won my last final. And the years keep rolling on.
Indeed, and indeed the days roll on, and tomorrow is another round, another direction.
It's opened up the championship a wee bit now, because Lee Wood was ahead of me now, and I think with him getting that third position, we might be on even score now. When we do the drop scores, we'll have to do our sums tonight and see what we'll have to do tomorrow.
Well, for the time being, Davey, congratulations. Celebrate well this evening, and we'll see you again.
Don't you worry, have a few gins tonight. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Well, what a cracking race that was to round off our coverage from round 6 here at Pembrey Circuit of the 2022 Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. For round 7, we race in the opposite direction. The Pembrey course is turned around for the second half of this doubleheader weekender. That's all coming up in our next programme. But for now, thank you very much indeed for watching. We'll see you soon. Goodbye for now.
you.